What's going on, guys? Welcome to our random video on this channel. In today's video, we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, obviously, because they just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 126-91. Now, the reason why I'm creating yet another video talking about these two teams is because right after the game, I started thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? This is something that the sports media really needs to talk about. And as far as me creating videos talking about the Warriors, I talk about them because I'm interested in the team. So if you're interested in the Warriors and you notice things going on with the game, obviously you're going to want to talk about them. So as far as what happened in this game, the Warriors controlled the game for the most part, but this is why I'm talking about this. It's not just the victory in the game, because honestly, this game doesn't really make or break the Warriors season. It's just one game. Each team has won a game at home. I think the Warriors are the better team, but besides that, when you saw LeBron James flop, and if you watched the game, basically you knew what he was trying to do because Draymond Green was trying to go for the ball. They ran into each other, LeBron's on the floor, and you know he was trying to sell the call. So the way I look at it is that this is yet another situation when LeBron James is trying to get the referees to give Draymond a technical, a flagrant foul, or eject him out of the game. That's what it looked like. Then when you look at one of the situations with Draymond Green in the previous game against the Cavaliers, very first few minutes of the game, he gets a technical foul. Now that wasn't because of the Cavaliers, but at the same time, if you're looking at the referees and the way they treat Draymond Green, this is just like Dennis Rodman, or even worse. Because now you have LeBron James that knows what the referees are thinking already. So if he's on the floor for longer, he knows that the referee's going to notice it. And by the way, just because you review the replay doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to see exactly what happened based on what LeBron James is doing. Because he's the only one that knows if he was hurt or not. And if he's on the floor like that, and he knows that he's not injured because he was right back in the game, so there's nothing wrong with him. So as far as I'm concerned, the way this looks is that the Cavaliers know what the refs are thinking, and they're going to play it to their advantage. And I don't think it's right. I think this time around, the Warriors need to say something to the league themselves. I'm not saying go to the media and make a big deal about it. I'm sure people are going to ask Draymond Green about it, or even the other Warriors. But if you look at these situations, this is not good for the game itself. And I'm not just saying that because I root for the Warriors. I'm saying for the NBA. You can't have people faking like this to the point where people are going to think that they're injured or not injured or whatever. And it happens in a lot of sports. But Draymond Green did not do anything to LeBron James for him to even have to do that, besides the fact that the Warriors were winning. And they were winning by a lot. I think this was like in the second quarter or something, whatever. The Warriors had a significant lead. Then after that, the Cavaliers went on a run because Draymond was on the bench. And that's what LeBron wanted to do. It was that obvious. Now, people in the sports media, you guys don't want to talk about this. For some reason, you don't want to say anything about LeBron James. Maybe it's because it's not good for your network. A lot of people watch your network. They might be fans of LeBron or the Cavaliers. But when you notice that somebody's doing this, especially more than once, and after last year what happened in the playoffs, which was not fair to the Warriors, because when you got Draymond suspended, you guys were not acknowledging that LeBron James threw Draymond to the floor. That's exactly what happened. He put his foot between his legs and shoved him down to the floor. And that's why Draymond was angry. Now you look at this game. Draymond goes for the ball. They collide, which in almost any other situation, they probably would have just continued on, maybe call a foul or whatever, but they continue on. Not here. This is when LeBron's on the floor, acting like whatever, someone just broke his leg or something. Whatever he's acting like he was just shoved down to the ground, which he was not. They collide together. And the longer he stayed on the floor, he knew that the refs were going to pay attention to that. That much he does know. And he also knew that if he did all that, it could change momentum in the game. And that's exactly what the Cavaliers did last year during the series. And it changed momentum in that series. They try to do the same thing tonight in this game. And that's not fair. And someone should say something about it. It's not going to be a sports media, because they were even making excuses for him when the foul happened. They were trying to say, well, how'd you know that LeBron couldn't be on his feet like that? Maybe he was really knocked over. You know what? If you really think that it takes that much to knock LeBron James over and that he was really injured, then why was he back in the game right away? It's obvious. And it's obvious what the Cavaliers were trying to do. And besides that, the Warriors were really controlling this whole game. So what it tells me is that the Cavaliers are fully capable of trying something like this again in the playoffs. If these two teams meet in the finals. Because what Draymond Green is to the Cavaliers is pretty much Dennis Rodman. And although the teams that went up against Dennis Rodman did not act like what LeBron James is doing, or even like Tyrone Lue when they had to complain to the league and try to get Draymond Green suspended, that wasn't going on with Dennis Rodman. The teams competed against Rodman, and that was it. The league was a lot tougher back then. The way they played defense. People compared Jordan to even LeBron. Are you serious? Jordan didn't do those kind of things. He went up against some really tough teams, including those Piston teams that were really tough. And back in the day, they had Rodman. And they fouled a lot. And you were going to get an elbow in your face, by the way. That's what basketball was like back then. Nowadays, you got LeBron James, he collides with Draymond Green, and he thinks to himself, you know what, if I'm on the floor longer, he might get suspended. He might get thrown out of the game. He might get a flagrant foul, technical foul, whatever the referees are thinking. LeBron James knows all of this. So I'm not talking about this to trash LeBron James. I'm just asking the league to stop this nonsense, because that's exactly what it is. Draymond Green shouldn't have been suspended last year during the finals. And even though you suspended him, if you did something like that, you should have just suspended LeBron James also. Because he's the one who threw him down to the floor. I'm just saying, in that situation, if both players were wrong, both players were wrong. You look at this situation, LeBron James is wrong. And for him to do that, people are going to have to call it out for what it is. I mean, the league does have rules about flopping. And if you're going to question whether someone's really injured or not, how do you get back in the game right away? That's what I would ask. And why is it the referees are thinking like this? When something happens to LeBron James and maybe another player, they don't even think about it twice. You know, these are things that go on in the NBA. Not everything is perfect. I understand that. But something has to be said about it. And if you're a Warriors fan or a fan of another team, I'm sure you notice these things. And even if you're a Cavaliers fan, you should not want this for basketball. If you're a real fan of basketball. It was a great game. I'm not just saying that because the Warriors were winning by a lot of points. They really controlled this game. Transition offense, even with the points, if you look at the stats, look at the stats for the leading scorers of the Warriors. You got Steph Curry, Thompson, Draymond Green's there. Kevin Durant. These guys can ball. Iguodala's there too. Top scorers. But really it's about Steph Curry, Thompson, and Durant. They're sharing the ball. You got Curry at 20 points. Klay Thompson, 26. Kevin Durant, 21 points. It's really impressive. This team is for real. Some people said this might have been about message sending to the Cavaliers. It's possible. I don't think the Warriors look at these games like it's going to make or break their season. Just last season was about breaking a record for the regular season. Of course they wanted to win the championship and they didn't. So obviously they look at the season differently this year. They're not going for a record for the regular season, and it's not about that. It's about championships. And also playing as a team. And that's exactly what they did. And by the way, when Draymond was on the bench, after LeBron was complaining that he was fouled or whatever, look what happened. You had Draymond Green on the bench, and the Warriors still were able to build on their lead. And that's impressive, because then Draymond Green was back in the game. There you go. Warriors are in full control of the game. And they got the win, 126-91. I think they're a good team. They're very impressive, those Warriors. They're not going to let the same antics that happened to them last year influence how they play this game this year. They have a different mentality. And they got a coach that's a leader. And I also think this. In this game, you did not see the full game plan from the Warriors if these two teams meet in the finals again. And that's something the Cavaliers got to think about also. Because this team was playing fast. A lot of transition offense. And that's their type of game. But I don't think Steve Kerr is letting the Cavaliers know everything they're going to do. He's too smart for that. And he saw what happened last season, in the regular season and in the finals. He wants to win championships also. He's no different than the players. They want to win championships. So he's not going to let everyone know what the Warriors are doing, especially in a game like this. But the Warriors put that kind of effort in to let the Cavaliers know that they're for real. And they're going to compete. And they're also not going to let some of the antics that the Cavaliers were involved in control the game either. You saw that with Jefferson. Actually, Jefferson was the one to get in Draymond Green's face after what happened with LeBron James. That was no coincidence. Jefferson's the same person that gets in stuff with other players also. They're trying to get Draymond suspended. Again, they want to see that they irritate Draymond Green, and then the referees notice all that kind of stuff, and it changes the momentum of the game, and it did not work. And I think partially why this didn't work this time is because you had Draymond Green who calmed down. He understood the situation, what was going on. He knew right away what was going on. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So basically, you're testing Draymond Green to see if he's going to react. And he's like, you know what? This time, I don't think so. And that's why he went towards the crowd and he started imitating LeBron. He knew right away what was going on. You know, he's a smart player, Draymond Green. Like I said, Draymond Green is Dennis Rodman in the making. Because the way he approaches the game, even when he's getting rebounds, you see the way he was reacting? He pumps his fist? That's Draymond Green right there. Dennis Rodman in the making. Because that's exactly how Rodman was. And Rodman knew his role and position with the team. It's very important because, you know, you got a lot of guys on the Warriors that can ball. And Draymond Green can put up points. But he also knows how valuable he is to that team defensively. And that's what you saw also. And Thompson has the capability of playing defense. I mean, this team is a lot of fun to watch, like I've said before. But I just wanted to talk about that situation, especially with the Warriors really controlling this game. And also LeBron James not really being honest with the referees or even himself. In a game like this where he went down to that floor, he didn't need to do all that. You lose the game, you lose. It's a regular season game. You don't got to get involved in all the antics and all that kind of stuff. And you don't have to try to get Draymond Green suspended. If you're a real competitor, You want to face your best competition, which is Draymond Green. He's part of the Warriors. It's not going to be him on the bench. So some people out there that root for you, or actually a lot of people root for LeBron James. If you're talking about the best in the NBA, you should want to see the best go against the best. You shouldn't want to see LeBron James in the game while Draymond Green's on the bench. Why would you want to see that? You want to see a bench player playing defense on LeBron James? No, we want to see the best players in the game. So for LeBron to do this kind of stuff again in a regular season game, it's just not right. Because if you're looking at this game and you're saying, well, the Warriors are on the run and we got to do something, flopping to the ground and acting like you're injured is not what you have to do. You chose to do that. And by the way, no, Jordan didn't do that. Jordan didn't have to do that. Jordan was about being in the game, going against the best. That's what Jordan wanted to do. And he did it. As far as LeBron, he gets involved in these antics. It's not impressive. And this is why people have issues with the league sometimes. Because you see he flops. He's not the only one to flop out there. But he is trying to get Draymond suspended or thrown out of the game. He's done this before. That needs to stop. And the league needs to do something about that. They need to stop that. Draymond Green should not be suspended or thrown out of a game for these kind of things. You should not have LeBron James, Tyrone Lue advocating for him to be suspended. Enough's enough. If these two teams meet again in the finals, we want to see the best players in the game. That's what the NBA is all about. But I would like to know what you guys think about all of this. Post your comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.